There it is.
We're live.
Yes. Oh, crap.
Yes.
But is it working?
I think it's working. For those who are watching this at a later date, the reason why we're asking if it's working is because Google gave me a really hard time starting this one up. Now it says we've got 0 viewers, so that's not good news, although it says we're live. So while I'm waiting for that to populate to at least 1 viewer, 0 viewers, I'm going to go look in the live chat and see. Now it looks like we've got 122 viewers. So
well, that means it is working. And
it's working.
We've created awkward moments.
No, sorry. That's all right. Awkward moments. It's right in the Hallmark card section. Go find it, and there'll be cards that will suit your awkward needs.
Nice.
Mark Sargent. I'm Patricia Steere. This is episode 155, and it's The Secret Show. And people have asked me, what's The Secret Show all about? Okay, we do it every Wednesday. The reason we have The Secret Show is sort of twofold. We used to do, Mark and I and others, these off-air Skype calls with video back in 2015. And the calls were so fun, with so much flat earth information and joking around and just chilling out, that we used to call them The Secret Show, because it's not really a show anyone gets to see unless you're involved in the call. So we did these private talk secret shows just with friends and stuff. And then on October 4th, 2015, Mark and I decided to do them publicly. We didn't call them The Secret Show right away, but eventually that's the name that it got. That's why it's called The Secret Show.
Yeah. So. And I feel bad because we burned a lot of hours, which we could have put on YouTube.
Some of our best shows were just
best stuff. We're not on air.
Just chatting. Well, hello to all who are watching the show live in our live chat. And I always let people know that if they have anything that they'd like to ask, it's hard to catch it in the live chat. Sometimes you can put it in all caps. But the best way is to email me whatever it is you'd like me to read on air, be it an upcoming meetup you'd like us to publicize, or a birthday or anniversary or wedding, or, hey, even a divorce party. Fine with us. Or anything that's going on in your neck of the woods that you want us to talk about. Just email at Miss Steere, that's MISS, Steere, STEERE, @gmail.com. And I will read it on air, and make sure to let me know if I can message, or if I can mention your name, because otherwise I might, and your whole life might become one big tragedy. So much stuff. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was about to say there's been many little tragedies happening recently. But yes. let's talk about the good stuff first. Because you were talking about meetups. The Colorado meetup is going, it's happening now this time it's Tuesday. So you can say it was every Monday, but now this time it's Tuesday. But who is going to be there this Tuesday?
It's going to be Bob Nodell of Globebusters fame, and I'm sure that Cammie is going to be with him. Yeah. They gate crashed the last meetup the other day.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Bob had to tell me. He's like, "Oh yeah, I snuck into the last one." I'm going, really? How did you don't really sneak into one of those?
If you're Bob, you don't.
If you're Bob, you don't sneak in.
I guess Bob's like 6 feet, and he looks like Bob. I mean, if you're a flat earther, you know what Bob looks like.
Yeah.
You just don't. It's just not just some guy like, "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" You're like, exactly. Wait a minute, aren't you Bob of Globebusters?
Right. Kind of looks like Grizzly Adams' cousin or something like that.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
But yeah, I was glad. I'm thrilled, and I hope that ODD eventually goes down to one of those, and because people, love to meet other flat earthers. So great, fantastic.
Exactly. It's a feeling that makes you feel a connection to your fellow man, which maybe you used to feel before you got into flat earth. And after, well, sometimes that's a pretty tenuous thing. But I think a lot more people, because it's becoming more mainstream, or sort of mainstream, are not afraid anymore to talk about it. They're not afraid to come out. I think it's...
Well, we've reached that point now, at least my opinion, where, and you've seen the stuff that I've been putting out recently, where it's not being shut down so quickly. It's not being laughed off as like it's so ridiculous that we're not going to talk about it. That has come and gone. Now we're to the point where, let's talk about it. I've got an opinion on it. You've got an opinion on it. Let's see how we differ, or how we're the same. The Chris Pratt thing was a perfect example. When he came on Sports Nation on ESPN, and if people don't know who Chris Pratt is, he is currently Hollywood's flavor of the last few years, definite A-lister, star of Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park, and he's a big sports fan. So he comes on ESPN, and Marcellus Wiley, one of the hosts on Sports Nation, decides to ask him, round earth or flat earth. And Chris didn't shoot it down right away. In fact, he had a pretty interesting quote where he said, isn't most knowledge belief based, based on beliefs? He goes, imagine, years from now, we're going to look back. It's like, wow, can you believe what we used to believe back then? And again, it wasn't shot down. Yeah, of course, the host, one of the hosts, the woman was saying, oh, it's embarrassing for us to even talk about this. She's definitely not on board, but Marcellus is. So I hope people tweet him and shoot him messages and say, hey, thumbs up, man. Great. Thanks for keeping us in mind. He's definitely on board.
Well, on a sort of, we want to talk about really big news that's not really big news. We'll save this because it's not flat earth related for a moment. But what about the health ranger who had come out with the video called Flat Earth Delusion Deconstructed? And he's got 135,000 subscribers.
Now, I remember a little bit about this guy. In fact, you do too, because DITRH I can't remember the exact details. Didn't he kind of go after him some time ago?
Yes, he did. He just tried to help educate him. He used to own a network, or he probably still owns the network that DITRH and I used to do a podcast on. And if you've not heard those interviews with people that are flat earth and non-flat earth, they're on my channel. It's called Truth is Stranger Than Lies. So there's a playlist on my channel, and you can, hear us talking to people that don't have anything really to do with flat earth, but really some very interesting people. That we also try to convert to flat earth on the side sometimes, and sometimes during the show. But the health ranger guy, he was talked to while we were on his network by DITRH many times in a very friendly and a very casual and a jokey sort of manner, a very the kind of way you'd want somebody to tell you about flat earth if you weren't a flat earther. Not in a mean way, not in a condescending way. But he just kept pushing back and pushing back and pushing back against it. And he recently came out with a video, the one that I was talking about. And the video called Flat Earth Delusion Deconstructed has got so many thumbs down and so many great comments from flat earthers. Yeah. In the video, he talks about why flat earth is an impossibility in a way that shows he either A, ignored every single thing DITRH ever told him, and DITRH spent hours, reams of messages going back and forth, or he purposely is pretending that all of the things that we say are proofs of flat earth are preposterous. And one of the things that he used was, well, what about your satellite TV? If you're watching Netflix and you hold a metal garbage can lid over your satellite dish, it makes the signal stop. Well, that proves there's satellites up there. Just ridiculous things like that. Right. Well, if your Netflix goes off, you're holding a garbage can over your satellite dish, maybe that's because it's not reaching the tower. Right. Plus, what are you doing holding a garbage can lid over your satellite dish anyway? If you're doing that,
if he did that, he probably did it. He probably did just because it was bugging him. Yeah, and that was like, you know what? I'm just going to make it so he could sleep. So he probably went out there with a garbage can lid and did it himself, and then said, "Yep, that's it for me."
Makes sense, yes, but not when you know that DITRH answered that question for him and answered it very well and very clearly. Sure. So he's not suffering from cognitive dissonance. I think the health ranger is suffering from what do you call it? Willful ignorance, when you put your hands over your eyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
he's just being stubborn. Yeah, which is fine. But and he's making let's call it what it is. He's made that video for the ratings.
Yes, exactly.
He knows full well that the flat earth is trending bigger than he is, a lot bigger. So, the numbers are huge compared to him. We're second, we're coming in almost around 17. Donald Trump is coming in at 18. So that gives you any indication. He's the most talked about president in the history of presidents. He's only been in 3 months.
Right.
So,
well, a good buddy and pal of Donald Trump's is out of a job today. Care to tell us a little bit more about that?
I just found out about it. I know it's nice. Are we entering
factor involved?
Are we entering a no spin zone?
Exactly.
Is that what's happening here?
You know what? We are in a no spin zone. It's called flat Earth.
Okay, the reason. Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
That's good. Flat Earth is the no spin zone.
It is
Awesome. Somebody should make a meme out of that and use Bill crying or yelling at the camera like he did.
Bill O'Reilly's fired is what we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Bill O'Reilly is out at Fox. He's out at Fox, and the reason why, and you say, well, it's not flat Earth, you shouldn't be talking about current news things. No, it's relevant because he is an anti-truther.
Exactly.
Absolute anti-truther. I watched him during a live interview go against a 9/11 truther, and being O'Reilly Irish, he got his temper got so riled up because this kid was just he was keeping his cool, and you could tell he was trying to get under Bill's skin, and he did, to where Bill cut the interview off early, and he literally ripped the microphone off of him and told him to leave the stage, and that was it. It wasn't just enough. No, so I know this interview's over. I had to get physical, and he's been intimidating people for a long time. And man's 6'5", right, and he's Irish, so he's kind of like a mean version of is Del Scottish or Irish?
Del is Scottish.
Okay, then he's not a mean version of Del.
And Del seems like a really nice, non-mean person.
Exactly.
Unless you do something bad to him or his family, and then, like anyone, watch out.
Yeah. I don't see any people going against Del in the street. Flat Earth, I'm going to take a swing at you. Oh no, you're not. So, but Bill has been intimidating people for a long time, both mentally and physically, and he's gotten himself into trouble. And over the last month, he paid out, if you believe the reports, and I do, $13 million in sexual harassment settlements against former people.
Okay, the former CEO of Fox
also got smacked.
Roger Ailes. Yep, he got he got it too for sexual harassment charges.
Yep.
Now, the thing about sexual harassment is a lot of people feel that there's two camps. There's the one that says, primarily it's against women. Of course, men have been sexually harassed too.
Sure.
But that all of this is trumped up by women, feminists, etc., out to, bring the men down and that sort of thing. But in some cases, when you've got actual audio and such, you really can't deny it.
Oh, no.
Bill O'Reilly was calling his most recent victim hot chocolate and staring at her cleavage and making quote unquote animal noises at her. It just doesn't seem that this would happen in the real world, in the real workplace. But when you had a former CEO like Roger Ailes, a company can rot from the top down.
Right.
And I'm not saying Fox is a good company to work for. For many people there that work there, they're just people who have jobs. They're not involved in lying or covering up or hiding the shape of the earth or, lying about 9/11. They're just somebody who has a job doing whatever it may be, like anywhere else.
Men in power have always, since the dawn of time, have abused that power. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and this is just another example of that. If he was squeaky clean, he'd have nothing to worry about. If you're paying out $13 million in settlement charges, you got a lot to worry about, and then they still fired him. So it wasn't a question of if he did it or if he didn't do it. He was guilty enough. And I believe in karma. You know me.
Yes.
He is. I have watched him every time. It was tough for me to watch the first time I saw him explode. Remember that someone leaked that off-air?
Oh yeah.
That off-air thing. It's like, we're going to roll the sting or whatever. And he's just freaking. I know he's Irish. I know he loses his temper, but that was years ago, and it never got any better. And so I believe in karma. I always have. If you have a special set of goggles, you can see it. And it crept up on him, and it got him. His legacy, he's going to be destroyed because of this. And
right now, he's visiting the Pope of all things when the news came that he got fired. So
yeah,
that's weird, isn't
it? Well,
and
here's another example of the way the world works. And again, this is tied to flat Earth in a way, which is, you go on to the news right now. You could type this in right now. You look at CNN, lead story: Bill O'Reilly fired. NBC, lead story. In fact, they probably have trumpets blaring at NBC News. Rachel Maddow is probably going to run a special. It's like, here's why Bill deserved everything he got. Fox News, not their lead story.
Really?
Of course not, because it goes against people protect their own interests. As much as it is mainstream news, it is still a corporation with stockholders, with investors, with sponsors. The reason he was fired was because of the sponsors. No different than the Tiger Woods.
It was only about money. Fox
It was
doesn't
only
care
about
about
money.
women being sexually assaulted or men or anyone. Not at all.
But the
It's
point was, they're
revenue.
not going to use that as their leads. If anyone has the exclusive on exactly what happened, it's Fox. But running that story at Fox diminishes the Fox brand.
Right.
Therefore, we can't run it. And you're saying, okay, Mark, what does this got to do with anything? Take what I just said there and carry everything over and just replace the word Fox with the word science. And you're probably saying, well, would science protect its own? Yeah, absolutely they would. If it damages science, they will protect their own. They will not talk about it. Science will not talk about a story that goes against science, which includes us, which we'll get into. We got more and more stuff to cover. But that was the same thing with Fox News. That damages the brand. Yeah, they're a mainstream news source. Yes, they are. They are also a corporation. It's all about the money. And so everybody else is going to pick on Fox because it helps their brand. NBC is going to go, look at Fox, they're idiots. You should watch NBC tonight. That's they're going to be their spin on it. CNN, same sort of thing. Every other news agency is going to rail on Bill Riley, and there'll be more stories about how bad it is. In fact, I'm sure NBC is looking for an exclusive with some of the women that haven't signed disclosure agreements.
Yes, exactly. And in this case, oftentimes there's a pile-on effect where there are people who, it's a horrible thing to say about my gender, but who weren't involved in being sexually harassed, who will just see dollar signs and try to get in on that.
Yep. We've seen that with as little as even the small time stuff, like a bus crashing. We've seen traffic cams. A bus crashes and you can see the traffic cams, people jumping on the bus to get their couple $1,000 neck injury settlement because they can say, oh yeah, I'm on the bus, because they'll get on the bus before the police show up.
What do you think about Bill Cosby and all the sexual allegations against him of,
Same thing.
Do you think he did it?
Of course he did. Of course he did. Men do. And look, I'm embarrassed because I'm a man, but men in power do horrible things when it comes to
look at Hillary Clinton. Women too.
They do. Yeah, women can, but men almost are naturals at it. They're so bad. What was the line from Cosby? It's like, you're driving around with a limo full of money and drugs. Who can't you pick up at that? In the 1970s, who can't you pick up on the street? You can go to any club you want, go home with anyone you want, and pretty much write your own script. The Tiger Woods, not to go off on a tangent here, but the Tiger Woods example, perfect, which was, look, he was a dork growing up, right? He was, you saw pictures of Tiger. He was not a refined, polished guy when he was younger. He was kind of he could have been an extra in Revenge of the Nerds. So when he got a lot of money and influence, what did he do? He picked up every cocktail waitress he could because they were starstruck. It was easy. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. And so he did. And so when the first one, and he told them all to shut up, no one was. And then when the first one came out, they all came out, because they all wanted them. It was all about the money.
Let's ask the chat. And there's so much stuff going on in chat, but I want to finish up this Bill Cosby idea, which isn't really pertinent, but in a way it's a sexual harassment thing. And the Bill O'Reilly thing is in the news today. If you have an opinion of whether or not Bill O'Reilly, Bill Cosby, weird, getting them confused, did it, do you think Bill Cosby is guilty or not? Put G for guilty. If you think he's guilty, take a little vote in our live chat right now. If you think Bill Cosby is guilty, then we'll move on to something else.
And we promise we won't go into OJ. But the reason why, because he didn't do it.
Just put N for not guilty, G for guilty. Sorry.
Or NG or whatever.
G is guilty. We've got a G from Infinite Arm.
Here's the difference, though. The Cosby thing, not to go off too much on this.
By the way, we've got Candy Franklin says guilty. Wesley Stace. Flat Earth News also says G for guilty. So just a random poll here. G, 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 GAF from They Lie, Ohio. No, from Mr. Drobot. They Lie gives us
guilty as friends?
No. Yes. We've got no not guilties here. Wow. Interesting. Oh, we've got Flat Magic saying not guilty. Israel Adams says not guilty. Flat Still Earth says not guilty. So we've got Yeah.
Here, while you're looking at those, the
Not
reason
guilty
why
of Dina Walker. I respect her views. So.
here's the difference. And again, it comes down to media when we're talking about, at least in our country. The reason is Cosby's legacy will endure much better than Bill O'Reilly's, because Bill O'Reilly doesn't have his shows in syndication. The Cosby Show is going to be in syndication till the end of time. You know, during the apocalypse, I'm sure someone will have reruns of the Cosby Show and whatever else he does. Plus, he did stand-up comedy before that. Bill O'Reilly is basically du jour. You know, he is of the day. When his show is canceled as of now, no one's going to care. Look at oh boy, who is the guy on CNN? I don't even remember his name now. I'm gonna have to look him up. There's been several CNN people, once they leave the news, they are just not talked about it. I've seen it in sports commentaries. When a host is removed, you don't the station doesn't even make references to it.
That's very true.
So Fox is going to tell every other host not to talk about Bill O'Reilly.
Right.
It's almost like, not to say he didn't exist, but it's about pretty close to it.
Yeah,
by the way,
draw any attention to it. So
little side note on the karma thing, because I don't want to forget, because it was also today and tomorrow we will forget about this. You also believe in karma. Men who try to get away with it. Aaron Hernandez today.
Oh, another story. Yes.
Dead.
Aaron Hernandez, but then again, is he guilty? There's, being a conspiracy.
Oh, he was. What are you talking about? Was he guilty? He went to prison.
Well, there's
people.
There's people in prison who may not have done it. You know, Charles Manson. That whole thing may not be what we've been told.
Well, all right. Look,
so many things.
Aaron Hernandez was high profile enough that people were willing to roll on him.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, and he was. Yeah. Did he pull the trigger? Doesn't really matter. He was tied to it. And they realized that, his lawyer probably explained to him, it's like, look, there's probably more evidence coming down the pipe that pretty much said that he was not getting out anytime soon. If you guys don't know who Aaron Hernandez is, he's got a Super Bowl ring for the New England Patriots. One of Tom Brady's go-to guys. And he just figured out, I'm not getting out anytime soon. So that was it for him.
Wow.
Suicide in prison by hanging.
Ugh. Just all of it sounds horrible.
Not good. But we have to get the bad news out of the way first.
Well, as for my views on Bill O'Reilly, I just don't like him as a person. I've never met him, but I don't like how all the things I've seen where he's been captured off air, screaming, ranting, and yelling, and just being abusive. So that makes me believe in his guilt much more so. Now, Bill Cosby's another story. I think that, I don't think he's guilty. I think, I don't think he's guilty.
So what is celebrity? What? Because celebrities don't make mistakes like that?
No, they do. But I think
Richard Pryor did not burn himself up on a crack pipe.
That's probably true. But
John Belushi didn't overdose on drugs. I can go on and on. I mean, Hollywood is
conspiracies about all of those things.
Just because
she was killed.
Look, don't forget. You. I know you're not old enough to remember.
Well, Richard Pryor's dad killed him, but really, what's the real story?
Bill.
Oh wait, no, that's not Richard Pryor. Wait a minute, let me look that up. Just my mind went.
No.
Yeah.
Bill, think of this. Bill Cosby.
Marvin Gaye's father killed him.
There you go.
Who got them confused? Why? I don't know.
Bill Cosby he's a big believer in his art being clean. He criticized Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy for using profanity during their stand-up acts. And Bill Cosby, God bless him, he was good at, he did some great stand-up routines without swearing, but that was just his onstage persona. Look, during the 70s, when he was doing stand-up and before he even got the Cosby Show, Bill Cosby was a really big celeb back then.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he was one of the elite. This was back when stand-up comedy was a limited number of guys that could pull this off. Steve Martin, Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, George Carlin to a lesser extent. He was one of the best. Not many guys could actually put out a comedy album and do as well as he did. I listened to them when I was young. So when you get that sort of money and that sort of influence and you can get away with it, you tend to push the envelope. You get away with more and more and more. To where, did he pay his driver to drive him around with a limo full of drugs and pick up women? I've heard of men doing much worse.
Yeah, that's true. I'm confused, but I'm still going to stick with, I think that there's aspects of the Bill Cosby case in which a lot of the women that came forward were not involved in actually being sexually harassed,
Sure.
raped, or
I know. I
whatever.
hear you. I hear you.
And as for Charles Manson, that whole thing, there's a potential that that didn't go down as we've been told. That's a whole different story.
It wouldn't have mattered though. He was
But
still
Bill O'Reilly guilty.
Bill O'Reilly guilty. You know, Charles Manson was a cult leader, plain and simple. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he would. You have to go. No different than David Koresh. No different than Jim Jones. Look, you got to go after the head of it. Who there was
Every one of those issues now with my flat earth eyes, I want to dig up and look into again, because they probably aren't exactly what we've been told as what we were reported, what was reported to us by Fox News. So,
well,
we can solve it all. Let's just ask Russian Viz what he thinks about all of this.
Nice. Okay,
there's a worse conspiracy than anything at all that's going on in our chat right now.
What is it?
I have just heard in our chat, April 19th, 2017, that Brian Mullen's channel is not there anymore. So somebody here, chat's moving really fast. Indeed, please put a Y for yes if Brian Mullen's channel is gone. Brian Mullen's channel. Anybody?
Oh, come on. That can't be true.
Anybody?
But is Robbie on the show? Is Robbie in this?
Don't see him at this moment.
Somebody contact Robbie, and you can always. We'll just go to Rob. Let's put it this way: Brian Mullen's wife runs a lot of the details for the Flat Earth Conference, so you can just go to the FE 2017 page and contact her and say, "Hey, what's happening?"
Everyone is saying yes, Brian's gone. Everyone's saying it's true. His channel's gone. Now that could be.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's not some weird thing. Everyone don't panic. Everyone loves Brian. Don't panic because even just starting the show today, YouTube wouldn't let me access it. Vegan Warriors show was like chopped in half today, or something happened. So
all right. Well,
we don't know if it's true.
No worries. We'll figure it out.
Isa Mahal says deleted.
He could be, remember, it may not be deleted. It could be rebranding. He said, oh, I'm going to try to change my name.
Well, he had Balls Out Physics, and then he went with Brian Mullen. Everybody is saying it's gone. Stock Jockey says, Tiger Dan got Brian Mullen. Don't want to, it's funny, but a joke. But yeah.
I get Brian Mullen. Although, just somebody contact Robbie. Robbie's in touch with him.
Bob from Globebuster says that same person also said that Brian became a baller. So, Deja Vu just messaged Robbie D. This is like we're live action flat Earth information going on right now on the show.
I know. I hope we can get to all the other headlines that have been going on. Wow. Tell you what, let's cover some other stuff. We'll let people. Do you want me to talk about stuff and then you can kind of monitor?
I do, but I want to help out Five Arts Liberalis and Vegan Warrior. Vegan Warrior needs to, Five Arts, tell him the problem is he's got a live stream. It's still on and he can't get it to restart. You've basically got to turn your computer off and pull out, but then you've got 5 minutes to get back in. It happened to me once where it's frozen. So try that. Try Vegan Warrior just shutting down his computer and then coming back. Ukdina Walker's got a good point about all of this. Brian Mullen's channel is gone, she says, but let us not jump to silly conclusions. So we will wait and hope.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't freak out yet. Yeah. Again, I've seen weirder thing happens just when people try to rebrand their YouTube channel and then do something horribly wrong.
I deleted two of my, it's very small potatoes compared to Brian, but I deleted my couple of my first two shows trying to edit them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm super careful with my stuff now. I am never going to do any rebranding things because I've got 500 videos up and I don't want to.
Luckily, somebody recorded them in Australia named Trolley and he sent them to me. But now my videos are out of order, but better than not having them at all. Don't
worry. We'll figure it out.
Jerry says, I know someone who knows someone who knows Brian, and she's going to contact him. Good.
I know someone. Well, Robbie knows him.
Yeah, but we
In fact,
don't.
I think I've got him on Skype.
You know, I've tried emailing Robbie just 2 days ago, not emailing, Skype messaging him, and he didn't message back. That means absolutely nothing, but usually he's right on it. So,
He's been cranking out
I'm
vids.
getting stressed out. Can we
Will you
start?
stop? All right. Tell you what, let's talk about
Let's talk about
okay.
kittens.
So,
Let me go get my cats.
no. I mean, there's been all sorts of really interesting things. It's going to be a weird week. So I type in flat Earth into YouTube and I set the filter to this week, and holy smokes, there are a lot of stuff. Even before we get to the other channels, just the stuff that I put up in the last couple of days. John Oliver going after trying to, and this has been something in mainstream has been kind of trying to do recently, which is trying to tie. Flat Earth is now part of our vocabulary, which is really interesting. They're trying to make it the ultimate level of crazy. So there's garden variety crazy. There's next level crazy, you know, where your friend has a whole bunch of peyote and runs naked in the streets. And then there is flat Earth crazy, like bury the needle on the far end crazy. And so John Oliver tried to tie flat Earth to Donald Trump on his show just 2 nights ago.
There's always been weird little ties with flat Earth and Donald Trump. Before the election, there were these fake news stories that were coming out that he was in a diner somewhere ordering a stack of pancakes talking about flat Earth. It was all fake news.
Of course.
But
the John Oliver thing was great because he used graphics. He used profanity. It was a great little clip. And then at the end of it, you probably saw that I included the Samuel L. Jackson thing, which I hadn't included until now, which was because I want to use a polar opposite, where Samuel L. Jackson was asked during his interview for the movie King Kong, which I don't think is still in theaters, what he thought about Kyrie Irving and the whole flat Earth thing. And Samuel was laughing, and his comment was pretty good, which was whoever, and he almost said weed, whoever Kyrie's buying his weed from, he should probably get himself another dealer. Right. And I thought that, you know, but he didn't say that. He said stuff instead of weed, but he almost said weed. And I thought that was great because in Hollywood, as you know, everybody's got a dealer. You know, somebody knows somebody that can get you something. So it wasn't a question of like, oh, he's crazy. It's like, dude, not even if you do drugs, wherever you're getting your drugs from, whoever that guy is, switch guys, not stop doing drugs, just switch guys. Love that. Samuel Jackson. That's a brilliant line.
I've got some bad news. I just checked my Facebook. Brian Mullen's been a friend for a long time. It says, please try again. His Facebook's gone.
Oh, that's not good. Somebody tracked down Robbie.
I just got a cold chill because I know it's his Facebook. Now, could he have defriended me in the past couple hours or whatever? Yeah, I wouldn't know why. But his Facebook's not there. I don't think he defriended me or unfriended me.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give out the email for... Here's what I'm going to do.
Yes, Bob of Globebuster says, it's not just me. Brian's Facebook is gone.
Okay, I'm going to give out the email, you guys, for Brian's wife. Can send a whole bunch of you, send an email. Her name is Nicole Mullen, M-U-L-L-I-N. Let's cut to the chase, shall we?
Yeah.
And her email address is creationcosmology@gmail.com. So 2 words, creationcosmology@gmail.com. And she gets emails because of the conference anyway. So email her if you don't mind and say, hey,
just wondering,
where's
your husband? What's going on?
Is he
okay?
Has he been put in a sack and thrown into a van? No. Again, we're not supposed to jump to conclusions. All right. No, look. We saw this with Tiger Dan. If it happened, it happened. But
okay. The thing is that
don't freak out.
Okay, what could it be? Now, if he decided that the Earth wasn't flat and that he was wrong, Brian seems to be such an honest and straightforward person. He would make a very good video explaining it to all of us. He's a person who has a lot of care and love in his heart, from the way I see, the way he acts anyway, and the way none of us have been trolled by Brian Mullen. You don't see Brian going around saying horrible things about other people. He seems to be a very sweet, kind, and genuine person. So
So,
he would definitely do what I know I would do, or you would do, or come out
and
with a video explaining why he thought he was wrong. He wouldn't just disappear and
oh, exactly. Well,
Facebook.
and he would explain why. At the very least, he would explain why he was having problems with the model. And we're going down that road, but I don't think that's it. Could be something else. Now, is it? It did have something to do with his wife, but I don't think so, because she's like the main administrative person for FE 2017.
And she's also my Facebook friend, and I'm going to go check now.
Oh boy.
I don't want to check.
Well, you might as well.
I'd be like, can you check? I don't want to look.
That's all right. That's all right. While you're doing that, I will talk about other videos that people won't probably check out on now.
All right, I'm clicking on her name. She's there.
Okay. That's good. Does she have any announcements over the last month?
Just a big spinning globe. Joke. No, nothing. On Monday, she was posting something, normal stuff. Totally normal stuff.
All right.
Normal stuff.
All right. Then I wouldn't worry.
Picture April 5th of Brian and their dog and her sitting on a mountaintop, looking gorgeous. The scenery, the flat scenery. Okay, so
I wouldn't sweat it. Although
somebody actually could have deleted his channel and his Facebook page. This is possible.
There you go. Could he have been hacked?
Yeah, it's happened to many people. I know that.
Honestly, I'm amazed that the amount of people every couple of months that I run into, well, over the last few years, that have told me that they had to change Skype accounts because their Skype account was hacked. Enough of them, I'm going, how did people's Skype accounts get hacked?
I don't even know, but it happened to Carly Sunshine twice.
How do you, unless you're using a password that's super easy.
Well, there's a guy that I'm connected with on Skype, and all of a sudden, and we've been connected for a long time, but we don't really talk that much. And all of a sudden, I got a request to add him as a Skype contact. And I thought, oh, well, it's one of those people that lost a password and now they're reconnecting. And he lost his password. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Wondering why he was contacting me. Because like I said, we don't talk all of the time. And then he responded back, just wanted to see how you were doing. And I thought, it seems like a weird thing. It'd be like if you messaged me and said, just wanted to see what you were doing. That's not how you and I communicate. We communicate with like, here's a video, here's this, here's that. When are we going to do this? Like people who are friends who know each other communicate. Anyway, I went back and found the guy's name still. So what I'm trying to say is this was a new person with his same picture and his same name trying to contact me while the real guy was still a Skype friend. So I messaged the real guy and said, hey, do you have a second account? And he said, no, I just have this one. Why do you ask? And I explained to him. And then I went back to what I thought was a fake one and said, do you have two accounts? And he said, oh, yes, I had one, but it doesn't work anymore. So I knew the second guy was lying. And I was thinking that the first guy's Facebook had been hacked, or this was, I don't know what it was, but I ended up deleting the second guy. And I think this happens to all of us. Scary.
Yeah. Do you remember when I said in the, I should probably do a little defense rant on the Two Sons video that I released?
Oh, yes. A lot of people were kind of flipping
people were saying, oh, the Two Sons video. It's like, no. For my model, I have no problem with that video at all. One, it wasn't like a conspiracy thing. That was released on the Weather Channel. That's just one step down from PBS as far as people who don't generally throw out sensational things. And they did it without an explanation. Does it work in an enclosed model? Yes, I do. And the reason why I put the quote at the end, which is why I'm tying this to what we're talking about now, and this year seems to be where impossible things become very probable. Look at all the stuff we've seen so far.
Oh, well, Brian Mullen thing kind of fits into that.
Oh yeah, so that's what made me remind me of the Two Sons thing, which was, look, if Brian Mullen disappears, that's way different from Tiger Dan. Brian Mullen made a whole bunch of videos, and he's the co-chair on the FE 2017. So if something happened to him, we need to know, because that's why I gave out his wife's address. I apologize to Nicole if she looks at this later and says, why in the hell did you give out my address? It's like, look, you're going to get emails anyway for the conference, people that do exhibitor stuff and crap like that. So,
well, I'm going through and looking at all the comments. Everyone's saying they love Brian, and Malav Cocktail saying what I said. Nicole is still on Facebook, and well, I guess what we're going to do is wait.
Wait and see.
Actually, wait and see.
That's
Oh,
all you can. It's all you
yeah.
can do at this point.
I
If
want to say
anyone
hello
has,
to Michael of Wake the Sheeple too. We need to catch up. I sent him some way to catch up with me the other day.
got it.
Anyway, yeah. Okay. Wow. So now what?
Oh, I got plenty of stuff to talk
I
about. Don't
feel
worry
that
about it.
there's nothing important until we find out. I feel like
no.
we need to.
Until look, if chat, you'll see it in chat. If somebody pops up something, if they know where he is, hey, great, wonderful.
We need to know if he physically is okay. That's the most important thing. What stance he's taking on flat Earth is not as important as whether or not he is physically and mentally okay.
Guys, do the obvious thing. Don't forget about YouTube. Do a Google search for because he's in North Carolina. Type in Brian Mullen, North Carolina. See if anything comes up in a news feed. Click on news. Brian Mullen.
Believe the news. We are the news.
Well, yes, we are. But click on local mainstream news. Do a search for the last week. So flat Earth. Or, I'm sorry, Brian Mullen news filter by 1 week, and see if anything shows up. Although you might have to search for 1 month because I don't know when's the last time anybody's talked to him.
Well, the thing is that his wife Nicole's Facebook page has some very recent photos and comments on it, meaning if there was something wrong with her husband, it would be on there.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about the news. So anyway.
Unless she was murdered.
No, that's not happened.
Dun, dun, dun.
I want to, before we talk about real stuff, I want to have like a little moment of chill out. Where I just say hello to people. I'm not worried. You're not. I am.
Shouldn't be. Don't. Believe in the process.
Tyne Eldridge says, dead people don't delete accounts. True. FPV Angel is here. Disco Discord. And P. Brooks here as well. Says there's nothing on Brian Mullen in Google search. Thank you, P. Brooks.
Good. That's good news.
Plain Truth says left a message with Robbie, which is great. Black Magic told me to drink some wine. Okay. To mean to chill out. Can you just imagine I just go grab a bottle of wine and open it up and start slugging wine?
It'll be fine, guys.
I know. This Lana is in our comments as well. Christopher as well. Big L, Tau Zeta Alpha. Oh, I can't even read, can I? I've got my contact lens in wrong, but I'm bearing through it. Flip as well. Candy, Stock Jockey, Helio Skeptic, Arwin, and Vegan Warrior. I guess Vegan Warrior solved his problem with his hangout. Spies Like Us is in here as well. So many other people. Okay, so we'll go back to that later.
Don't sweat it yet. Seriously.
We've got
I know, because look, we're in the conspiracy world. We will jump to conclusions. Absolutely. And we're still working on the Tiger Dan thing. And honest to God, I have no idea what happened there. That's creepier than the Brian Mullen thing right now.
Well, see, with Tiger Dan, he went angry and mean.
And then he disappeared.
Right. And he didn't just say, I don't believe in it anymore, which would have been fine, you know?
No. Never to resurface. And he's still, the thing is, his subscriber base is still going up. That's the thing that kills me. He still has more subscribers than I do.
That is kind of weird. I used to make a whole lot more videos per week, and I need to get back to doing that. And when you do that, you gain more. The more videos you make, the more subscribers.
The more subscribers you get. Well, because it keeps that reminder thing, and then people, like, you have more chance of you being recommended to somebody else.
Right.
Blah, blah.
And I've been quite lazy since I got my house and stuff I have to do here. But you still get subscribers. You still get subscribers when your account isn't really doing much, but not to the level that Tiger Dan gets.
Tiger Dan created such a volume of work.
Yes, that's probably why too. Someone's watching an early video, right?
And he's tied to flat Earth. So if you type in flat Earth, there's a chance if you start digesting a whole bunch, by the end of your first week, you're going to run into some Tiger Dan stuff, especially if you're biblical. If you're biblical, how many, who are you going to, there's Controversy 7, there's Celebrate Truth, Rob Skiba and Garcia. Eventually you're going to, Tiger Dan's in the top 10.
Well, I hope Tiger Dan is fine too. I don't wish ill on anybody. Well, most everybody. I don't wish.
Most everybody else. Okay, here, that's a good segue. Do you know who I wish ill will on right now? Bill Nye.
Oh,
Oh my Lord.
yeah, that new
Okay.
story. Well, tell everyone.
Oh, okay. First off, and I had the misfortune of seeing it because, as you know, Netflix has become the biggest producer in Hollywood.
Oh, wait, but did you turn off your Skype? Because I saw a little flicker of weird.
No, that just happens.
Okay, continue.
But I did turn it off.
Okay.
So the it wasn't a CGI thing, was it? I'm still on the green couch, right?
Yes, you are.
Not the blue couch. Okay, good. Live, right? So anyway, Bill Nye has a brand new show. God, oh, I hate him. I really, you know me, I do not hate
He's
a
a
lot of people.
comedian / actor. He's not a scientist.
He's got a brand new show on Netflix called Bill Nye Saves the World. Couldn't
Oh,
make that up
oh.
if I tried. Studio audience, guests, experiments, brightly lit, big stage, the whole 9 yards, right? Bill Nye Saves the World. They're reinventing the whole Bill Nye the Science Guy thing. Anyway, so Wired magazine grabs him. They grab anybody that's current and they ask him, they put him down in a desk with a bunch of crap and they start asking him questions. And one of my listeners sent me the interview, and you really got to watch the whole, what it is, 20 minutes. It's horrifying. And just the 5-minute segment, I'm sorry, 2-minute segment that I used was, I'm just staying there with my mouth open going, holy smokes. In 2 minutes, he covers GMOs are fine. Organic foods make no difference. And flat earth is crazy because I have a child's globe next to me. It was mind-boggling how much damage he did to himself in less than 2 minutes. And I wasn't taking it out of context. I didn't edit. I just chopped the beginning of the GMO thing and the end of the organic food thing just as buffers. It just to show you what the hell he was saying. And I encourage people to end it. Like, you want to know what else he's spouting BS about? Go to Wired Magazine. Type in Bill Nye Wired Magazine. And they've got 1 million, well, they haven't hit it yet, but 1 million subscribers. And he's, again, great reference. Thank you, Wired Magazine, for bringing up flat earth. You know, that people tweeted him about flat earth. But his very first response, which was, he literally points to the globe, the children's globe next to him, and says, we've got these globe models. These globe models, really.
Yeah, that was his proof. And Bling Bling mentioned that earlier in comment. It scrolled by so fast, but she was saying that's the
so
Bill and his globe in every classroom proof. Bling Bling, the BSS of the ISS channel.
Yeah,
so.
we have globes in the classroom. Bill, you were going to. I know the show usually shoots in advance, so there's no way he's going to take the show down to, unless it gets picked up for a second season, take it down to. I'd love to see him show up at that freaking conference. I really would, just to talk about it, but I don't think he will. I don't think he's got the nerve to show up with that. If you guys wonder why Bill Nye gets under my skin so much, you've heard it before. I'll say it again. He has a bachelor's degree, bachelor's, not master's, not PhD. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, not hydrology, geology, archaeology, but take your pick. Whatever ology it is, he does not have a degree in, and yet he is asked his opinion in mainstream about everything. People love to talk to him. What do you think about climate change? Well, here's what I think. And literally that 20 minutes, if you watch that thing on Wired Magazine, it's mind-boggling. The stuff. Why are you asking him about GMO foods? Why is his opinion on organic foods make a rat's ass difference about anything? It doesn't.
If his opinion as a kind of like uneducated about most subjects, professionally educated anyway, person is considered valid, why are our opinions of flat earthers considered invalid when they say to us, oh, you guys don't have a degree? Wait a minute. They're just Bill Nye in the subjects of which he speaks.
And he is considered, I mean, he's second only in the media, mainstream media science field. He's second only to NDT. And third to him would be Michio Kaku. And the only reason he's third is because he's Asian. And that's it. Seriously, if he was American,
especially Neil and Bill. They're
But at least Michio's got, he's got some, some academic power to back him up. NDT, I don't know when's the last time he published anything. I'm not talking book. I'm talking about actual, peer-reviewed periodical type thing. And as far as Bill Nye goes, he does nothing. He literally wrote his first book, 2 years ago. Took him that long.
Yeah, he probably was pressured by the powers that should not be. You got to get a book out there.
Yeah,
more credibility.
Yeah, let's revamp the whole Bill Nye the Science Lie thing. Ugh.
I want to say hello to Zern Music, who for a while I was thinking was going to move away from Flat Earth. Not move away from being a Flat Earther, but just move away from YouTube. But he's in our chat right now, so that's good. That's one cool dude.
You don't quit Flat Earth.
Well, he wasn't really gonna. It's just
no, I know, but
so
I mean,
much drama sometimes. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, people get worn down, no question. But there's no, and this is not me being a doom and gloom or any sort of pessimist here, but I'm sorry. After Flat Earth, look, this is the top of the mountain. Where do you think you're gonna go after Flat Earth? You think you're going back to 9/11 and Sandy Hook and Boston? That's where you're gonna focus on? Really? No. No, you have to come up with something bigger than Flat Earth to move past it. And until recently, I don't think there's anything yet. Not yet. Bill O'Reilly, I don't think qualifies.
My Love Cocktail has messaged Nicole, Brian's wife, on Facebook just now, and says we'll have an answer before the end of the show. So yeah, we're talking about Brian Mullen. In case you're just tuning in now, and his
Brian Mullen has now become a woman.
Oh my God.
Which is weird because he can do the beard.
Yeah. I mean, all you need is eyeliner and a nice lip. Trust me.
That's quotable. Seriously, all you need is eyeliner and a nice lip.
That's
wow. I don't know if that's ever been sent. Somebody type that into Google, see if that shows up. If that isn't, somebody put it on a t-shirt.
That's my motto when it comes to makeup.
Did you catch the Darren? I know it was an hour and 30, but did you catch the Darren Nesbitt thing finally from the?
No, I did, but I didn't get to it. So tell me what I
know. It was because the first one had some technical difficulties. I don't think it was a different one. Yeah, it was him speaking in front of a group, and it was a great side by side. It was showing the frames, the inserts of the slides he was showing, and him talking. Pretty much 90 minutes, and it was great. Darren Nesbitt's got his routine down. You could basically put him in front of any group at this point,
yes,
and he could even field hecklers, and he darkened his beard.
Interesting. Just for men hair color?
Maybe.
Is it whatever, or is it Maybelline? I don't know how that goes.
Is it live or is it Memorex?
Oh no, there's was he born with it? Right.
I love that he gets extra credibility points. Again, this just like Bill Nye. In fact, I'd love to see Darren go up against freaking Nye, because Nye's got the bow tie, but Darren's got that 1800 scientist beard going. It's not your modern-ish beard. It is, all he needs is a stovepipe hat, and he could be in a British science fiction movie, talking about stuff.
I want to say hello to Validation Boy. I don't know if I said hello to Archer Sage before, but Archer and the word sage put together as one word is a sort of relatively new channel, and he's got awesome stuff, awesome videos, and he puts out a lot of videos. So just something to keep in mind.
Who else made a great video this week was ODD.
Yeah,
where he did space spliff.
Yes, exactly. It was pretty funny too.
3 minutes, knocked it out. Seriously, 3 minutes, and you just disproved. Someone says, "Oh, there's the curvature." No, I mean, showing the curve on the ground. There you have it. The fisheye lens is going to be haunting us forever.
Yes, exactly.
It is.
But a lot of people just say, well, the fisheye lens is useful because it gives you the wider perspective. But when it can, if you tilt it, it bends things concave or convex, right? And that's the perspective that they use to accidentally, and then on purpose as well, fool us. You had a call last night to your Strange World show from a woman who was talking about, I think she was watching golf on TV or something.
And they were using that lens during Golf Channel. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're using it. I guess they need that to go follow the ball as it flies. But
well, they don't need that one, but it's very convenient because it gives you
same time commenting about the curve of the earth while they're doing
No,
it?
no, they don't have to, because people, it's subliminal. People
Right.
will see it, and
I've seen the curve. I don't
I've
remember
seen it,
where. Maybe when I was watching golf the other day. Yeah.
or one of the many space shows.
Something weird's happening. I was mentioning as we started our show, there was something weird with Google, and I wasn't allowed to enter the show to start my own show. And then
Yep.
I made it work. And then we have Vegan Warrior in our chat whose video is paused and he can't access it while he was doing a live show. And we've got 350, 345 views right now. And the
Yep.
chat is moving like really slow. Usually the chat's zooming. I don't understand. Very confusing. Anyway, there's a lot of weird stuff happening in internet land right now, and hopefully the Brian Mullen issue is just some weird fluky thing.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the debate that I did
recently? No, I don't think so.
I actually had a skeptic channel interview me. The channel's on YouTube, and it's called League of Nerds. And you'll know because it's got a bright yellow banner. It's all 8-bit pixelated, old video game style.
That's a catchy YouTube channel name, really. League of Nerds.
Yeah, League of Nerds. It's actually, seriously, you should brand that. And they're out of England, or in fact, one of them's out of Ireland. And the guy was named, I couldn't make this up, Irish guy named Buck Mulligan.
That's a fantastic name.
Isn't that great?
Buck Mulligan.
Buck Mulligan. That's like, kind of like an Irish porn star name. Anyway, so Buck called me up, and we did through a weird third-party recording software which I had never used before, and so I couldn't record it on this side like I would with Skype, and I could tell the audio from his side was really screwing up. I mean, I think I sounded fine, but his was not coming through. I don't know if it was a bandwidth thing. So we did about 90 minutes, and talk about it was one of the tougher skeptic things I had to deal with, because he was a skeptic that didn't believe in anything. Meaning, we got to the point where I had to stop him. I said, okay, just for the record here, you believe that everything the American media said about 9/11 was true? He goes, yes, I think it's absolutely accurate. And I said, and JFK was killed by a lone gunman from the school book depository? And he goes, yes, I do. I was going, whoa. It's like, come on, man. Even we don't believe that. Even the Americans don't believe that anymore. So it's just been so long that we, who are you going to go after? Even the last member of the Warren Commission's long gone. So it was an interesting exercise, and I'll post it if I can. The raw audio apparently was so bad, he didn't like it so much that he wasn't going to post it. So I'm hoping he sends me the raw audio. But if he does, I'll post it. But if you want to know, because I when I was talking to him, it felt like I was talking to family members that others have described to me. You hear some of the calls. It's like, I told my dad the other day at the dinner table I was flat earther, and then hilarity ensues after that. So I'm going to try to post it if I can. But it was League of Nerds. I did do a debate with them, and hopefully we'll get to post it. We'll see.
I was just checking the latest news updates and things like that, trying to see if I could find information about, Bill O'Reilly, which we already know it's been confirmed that he's been fired. Yeah. And it's weird how that was a top story, but now the Brian Mullen thing is like the only thing I'm thinking about. So,
well, again, don't read into it too much yet. Until we've seen weirder things.
If the channel was gone.
That's one thing. If Facebook is gone.
If his Facebook is gone, the only thing that makes me think everything's going to be okay is his wife's Facebook is still up. But then again,
as we're saying that, one of the ops teams is it's actually going. One's going. It's like going, the wife, dude. How did you forget the wife?
Now people are going to say, "Oh, how could you be so cruel?" You're not being cruel. You're just being funny, right?
Yes. Yeah, of course. No, you know me. I tend to. I'm not. Look, you're talking about a guy who lives to hype up stuff when it's worthy of hyping up. And when it comes to this, look, I've seen the conspiracy people love to jump on this. That's what we do. That's our nature. We will go worst case scenario. Brian was obviously abducted by aliens. That's not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is Brian was abducted by, government agents, and they shut down everything. and whatever. But if you're going to do something as high profile as that, what, it's not going to go unnoticed?
Well, James B in our chat says some people like a break from the internet. Oh yeah. I mean, there's times when I want to, but because I have a small little social media presence, it's almost impossible. It's impossible to get away.
And don't forget, and guys, you got to remember the bigger picture here. The flat earth community has received almost no resistance to date. Literally, I mean, token resistance at best we have gotten. Yeah, NDT shows up on Comedy Central, drops the mic. It was a horrible rant on his part. Yeah, Tiger Dan disappeared. But flat earth is still being recommended to a ton of people. You type in the earth is into the search engine, it comes up flat. You search flat earth by search date. Right now, remember they did a number crunch already, and it still keeps going. It's at 16.9 as of this morning. 16,900,000. That's huge. That's bigger than most mainstream topics that are out there, with the exception of the president, Taylor Swift, and in fact, if I type in Justin Bieber, what does that give me?
Is Justin Bieber still doing anything? Probably. I just don't know.
Justin Bieber, yeah. So if I type in Justin Bieber and say, and remember that's music, yeah, he's still at 31 million.
I don't think that's called music, though. Not in my book.
well, you got to remember, you get a lot of traction because a lot of kids use YouTube as like a poor man's iTunes. The video just keeps they're queuing up the video just to hear the song.
Right.
Instead of going to iTunes. Like,
I use YouTube as a poor man's news. That's my news, YouTube. So,
but if I type in like Lady Gaga.
Oh, Lady Gaga.
She comes in at 9 under general search and upload date. Yeah. Wow. Scary. Yeah. We're scoring higher than Lady Gaga right now.
Well, that's good because Lady Gaga, no, just no.
Well, yeah. But as far as generating media, that's her. I mean, that's
true.
She's at 15.9. We're at 16.9. That gives you any idea of and again,
we don't have to wear like 12-inch platform shoes to do it.
We did this with no mainstream media, with nobody, out of pocket, nothing out of pocket. We did that for free, basically. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm still waiting for the day.
A lot of people say that Lady Gaga is really a man. Going into this whole transgender thing, we touched on it. We touched on it during our last show. It seems like everybody's a man these days. Every famous actress is a man, and you can look at some of the videos, and some of them are really compelling. But
the only person, not jamming up, am I?
Nope, you're not jamming up.
Good. The only person I ever even cared about being a man, and just because it was interesting, was, and you can guess because it's tied to the truther movement, Michelle Obama.
Oh, Michelle. I was thinking.
Well, yeah, absolutely right, Patricia. Michelle Obama. Because.
Well, how is it tied to it?
Because Joan Rivers tried to out her.
Yes, this is very true.
Just before she goes in for surgery, and voila, she dies on the operating table. And that was because she didn't backpedal on it. And Joan Rivers is too connected. She's too Hollywood. There wouldn't be a party she could go to from that where somebody wouldn't bring that up off to the side, and it was too much.
They say that one of the ways that you can tell if somebody is if you're a woman or you're presenting as a woman is you have a Adam's apple, like something will be sticking out on your neck. But I think there's surgery for that. There's surgery for everything. The quality of the voice, it wouldn't be feminine. You can put, I think, like 3 heads on your shoulders if you're a man. And Michelle Obama definitely had that going on. Having a visible penis might be a dead giveaway. And there were some Michelle Obama pictures that made me think, what's going on with that? She was is very muscular and, that sort of thing. But there's women who do that. I've met women who work out a lot and their veins in their arms are bulging.
Oh, sure.
But some of the things that they can't do anything about surgically are your fingers. Now, Let's see. I'm going to hold my hand up. I think if you're a man, this finger should be longer than this finger. Now, that's what I've told. But let's see your hands. You have to talk, so it shows you.
Okay, so what am I looking at?
All
Should I
right,
do
put
it
your
like
hand
that?
facing out, just because I was. I don't know. It makes
Facing out. All right.
okay.
And put them like right next to each other.
No, 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 just like that. Oh, keep
All
talking
right.
the entire time so we can
So, okay.
stare.
So while I've got my fingers here, I can tell that actually it's pretty much a dead heat. If I had to guess, I'd say my index finger was a tenth of an inch taller than my ring finger. If I
Right,
had to
and
take a
so
guess.
that's more like a woman, I think.
Awesome. That's really great. Thank you, Patricia. That's fantastic.
Forget about the
That's great.
tranny agenda. We're talking about women trying to pass as men.
I look. All right. If
You're
I
like
could get
way
rid of
over
all that,
6 feet, and
if
you're definitely not a woman.
no, I am not a woman. No, no, and I have the body hair to prove it. I manscape on a regular basis, and that's more
Wait,
information
too
than
much.
most people want to know. But it's true. No, I inherited that from my father. My father has a freaking sweater for a chest. You know, like those old time sailor movies where a guy had a big anchor on his chest, and you could barely see the anchor because he literally had like an inch thick.
Oh, so like when you touch someone's shirt when they have a really hairy chest, it goes because it's like you're pressing down on the hair.
Man was like a gorilla. It was
but you know what? It's
horrible.
It's humans. We come in all different shapes and sizes, and some are very hairy. And
so next version of this world, because you do not literally, you know this, human beings do not need any hair from the nose down. It is absolutely unnecessary from the nose down.
Do we even need eyebrows, really?
Well,
do the eyebrows really keep stuff out of your eyes?
It helps. It's not bad. Plus, it accentuates the face. But eyelashes you need, nose hairs you need, ear hair nobody needs, and hair that's just for more ornamental. But it doesn't matter. Anything from the nose down, like beard hair. I mean, unless you're really into beards. But
you know what's really weird? Shaving your face if you're a man. When you think about it, you have to daily or semi regularly shave your face to go out in public. How weird and twisted is that that's what we do?
Yeah, that's why the next version, one of the reasons it's going to be
exactly. But I mean, I've always thought that was weird. Why men shave their face?
I have never, and I'm compulsive when it comes to that.
I cannot imagine you with a beard.
No, I have not even gone more than, and that was because of camping. I think I've gone maybe 3 days.
Do you grow like a beard, Darren Nesbitt style? Could you?
No, I've never tried. Never even attempted it. That's how it does not appeal to me. Just does nothing for me. Anyway.
I'm very, I don't want to say hairless. That's crazy because I have a lot of hair, but very, hair's not a problem for me. I know.
All right. Anyway,
Arwen says you need a stick-on beard.
Stick-on beard. Well, yeah, you guys can Photoshop a mustache on me if you want. I guarantee you won't like it. On a side note, let's go into another thing. Aaron Dover.
By the way, I do like beards. There's nothing wrong with beards. I think they're cool. I mean,
I don't think there should be let's put it this way. If you're a producer out there watching this or some other video like this, and you know other producers that produce shows that are dedicated to beards, you know, because there's shows out there that are tied to the whole beard thing, because it's a thing now in some ways. If that's
it's like a hipster thing, having a mustache like I have right now.
There you go. If you can do a show on beards, you can do a show on flat earth. Sorry, we've done all the shows. The only show that hasn't been done yet.
Well, how much more exciting? Okay, I'm going to know in my heart that Brian Mullen's okay, and I'm going to speak as if he's totally okay. How exciting would a show be if one of the key people involved suddenly disappeared for a couple hours and his channel was taken down? That would make really good viewing. Way better than some beard show like, hey, I grew another micro inch or something last week. What is a show about beards about?
There's a new beard guy in town. I'm so jealous of his.
I use the brand new organic conditioner to make my beard soft.
Exactly.
Flat Earth show, way better.
Do you know, by the way, I also have to mention that I am so thrilled about all the hangouts. You know, there's another Flat Earth hangout happening right now by Jamie Brown. 36 people watching it. Flat Earth Hollow Mandela Effect. There are Flat Earth things. Did you ever think we would see the day where there's so many hangouts happening that people are stepping on each other's toes all the time, and you kind of have to wait. You have to choose your moment and hope that there is another hangout happening for Flat Earth. And it's because of the positive reinforcement. I've run into people that say, oh, yeah, usually I do a hangout. I only get like 4 or 5 people. And I did my first Flat Earth hangout and had like 90. Again, people are suckers for positive reinforcement. That's all they need to do. It's like, dude, I have got to do more Flat Earth hangouts. I had so many people show up in the chat. Once you get that chat room lighting up for the first time, and you know me, I don't do hangouts, but I've seen other people's, like Globebusters, can't even track what's going on in hangouts sometimes. There's so many people going on there. And I thought the numbers would have died down a little bit. They don't. We're at 1,200 people.
Candy Franklin does really long hangouts. Some of them are 8 hours. So
God bless her.
Candy, and I might go on her if she's wanting me on her show after this show for like not very long, because I'll have already been on this for 2 hours. But I was trying to listen to her show last night, but I was driving and it was just scrolling and wasn't catching for me. And I was looking in chat, and a lot of other people were having an issue with that as well, which could be a YouTube problem, which could mean that the Brian Mullen thing's a YouTube problem or something. And
you never know.
This is all just a dream. Well, in the end, this really might all be just a dream.
Don't give it away. Anyway, where's it going with this? So anyway, the other thing I want to mention, again, I know we got a little time left. The Joe Rogan thing. Yes. Joe Rogan going on the offensive against Eddie Bravo.
Yes. He cannot stop talking about Flat Earth. And he never learns anything about Flat Earth between the times that he talks about Flat Earth.
He learns.
Well, yeah. Well, he never.
He knows. He's
got to know.
He knows. He just it's good ratings. I mean, look, he just did one, and Joe Rogan, he's not dumb. Look, if he didn't want to talk about it, he wouldn't make special videos for this channel, the Joe Rogan fan page. Joe Rogan has a massive YouTube presence. Massive. He has got 4 or 5 big channels. The Joe Rogan fan page has 104,000. That's just the fan page. 104,000 subscribers. I think it's probably run by one of his guys. 16 hours ago, he posts Joe Rogan versus Eddie Bravo. Heated argument over Flat Earth theory. It's got 115,000 hits right now. That's huge. 115,000 in 16 hours. Yeah, that's pretty big. And that's just one of them. He's clever. He's crafty, that one.
I want to say hi to Caleb of NorCal Waters. Hello. So many cool. Carly Sunshine is here as well. She was praising beards. Beards and long hair on men are cool. You know what's cool on men? Everything. If you like the person, the way that they decide to present themselves becomes cool and good in your eyes. I shaved head, balding, whatever it may be. You just, you
about what's on the inside,
you embrace it, Yep. So
I've met some great people. I've been on blind dates where at first glance I'm going, "Ooh, this is not going to go well," and it turned out really, really well. Other people, I'm going, "This is going to be stellar," and they just got less and less attractive as the night went on.
That happens with people's opinions and their beliefs and the way they treat others. If you go on a date and you see someone being rude to a server, forget it. Game over. They're rude to a person who's a stranger who's trying to help them. They're going to be horrible to you. So, let's see.
You're still worried about this, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Did this just happen before the show?
No, not even. Well, maybe before the show. But when I turned the show and started it, that's when I saw people popping up with this about Brian Mullen. So I found out about it in our chat. And I don't think this was a thing before this show started. We've got 360 viewers right now. And I think everybody here at one point or another has been thinking about or talking about Brian Mullen and where is he and what happened and da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah. We're going to just chill out. Everything's going to be good. Nicole is a good woman. Everything will be under control.
Oh, good. League of Nerds just messaged me and said that they were going to send the file on Friday.
So you can put it up on your show. Cool.
Yeah. So I'll put it up on Friday. It's actually, again, if you want to hear, because you will run into these people, frustrating people who will not. There are people out there that aren't your average family members. These are hardcore skeptics that literally don't believe in any conspiracies whatsoever. In fact, he came at me. He was getting frustrated because he says, "Is there any conspiracy you don't believe in?" And I go, well, it's tough to say because flat Earth opens your mind up. You have to revisit every conspiracy that you thought you knew.
What we were just talking about with, Charles Manson or Bill Cosby, everything.
And I mentioned to him because I said, as outside from the silly stuff, like Elvis having Bigfoot's baby, or where you're mixing shit.
Well, that's true.
But of course it is. But no, he asked about the story behind Mormonism. He goes, "Do you believe that Jesus came to America, blah, 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 and that whole thing?" And I go, well, no. But then he wouldn't let me finish. And what I wanted to say there was, I go, no. Do I believe am I a real big fan of the backstory of Mormonism? No. But at the same time, I respect the group for their faith in a higher power. Meaning, fine. Look, every religion thinks other religions' backstories are screwy. But the fact that they believe in a higher power enough to where they were trying to secede from the Union. They tried to make Utah its own country, and we had to march troops literally from DC over there to say, no, you're not, because they were gonna do it. And but I'm not picking on Mormonism. I'm just saying that's where the argument finally ended up going, because he was trying to figure out something. It's like, what don't you believe in? I go, man, you got to believe in I should have come back and said, you got to believe in something.
I believe in love. And that actually is true. That's what I believe in. Okay.
Testify.
Guess what, folks?
Go to church. What?
Bob from Glowbuster says, I just talked to Robbie D. Brian is okay, and he will be back.
Oh, cool.
All right.
See, you're breathing easy, and yet I was not worried.
Yeah, I know. Well,
because look, if you're going to make somebody disappear, here's the thing. You kind of want to do it like Tiger Dan, where you leave everything up. That's what you want to do. You just want to make it to it. That way nobody notices. Got to remember, if Brian's channel is down, his Facebook, people notice that crap. But if you leave it up, it takes people kind of like hiding a body. But I shouldn't probably get into that. But the point is,
last time you hit a body, you know how that.
Well, yeah, no. The point is, you want to make it to where people don't notice that they're gone for as long as humanly possible.
Right.
So in Brian's case, or Tiger Dan's case, is perfect because somebody was running his comments section. Somebody was going on other channels and making comments from time to time.
And Bob has confirmed Brian is still a flat earther. So whatever the issue is, it does not involve flat earth. He is okay. He will be back, and he's still a flat earther. So whatever else that's about, it kind of is none of our business, and kind of is
not worried.
We hope for the best for whatever situation is happening.
He and I didn't have some sort of lover's spat. Right?
Men with beards and men without beards. I mean, you've got the fingers, so maybe.
I told him to shave it. He said, "I'll claw your eyes out," and
then relationship ended. So
just degraded from there. The that Bravo thing is getting a lot of traction. That thing, I didn't listen to the whole thing of how long those two were going at it, but as long as they were going at it, that's what mattered to me.
I'm looking at chat and seeing what people are saying and what people are doing. People are somewhat relieved that we hear that Brian's fine. So, all right. Shall I go to some emails? We have I have a backlog of emails, and a woman was somewhat angry that I didn't read one of them.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Last time.
Sure.
Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Sorry. It'll just take a moment. Here it is. Her name is Irvine Caneas, and she wrote a pretty long email. Here it is. Hello, Patricia. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I watch so many YouTube videos of yours, especially quite a few of the ones you do with you and Mark. I'm very much a flat earther. However, I've come to a sudden realization which must be addressed concerning all of humanity. I ask you to please keep this conversation of ours private. For now, at least. Oh, no. Wait. But she did want me to talk about this.
Well, on air?
I think so. Anyway, I'm going to paraphrase now and
All
stop
right.
reading, because by reading, then I'm breaking the
No,
confidence.
no,
But
no, I
she
got
did
you. I got you.
wonder why I haven't spoke to you about it. She thinks that flat Earth, the movement aspect of it, is a horrible thing, and that if it's successful, uh, it'll be bad news for everybody. Torture, pain, suffering. Everybody will be thinking we're trapped here like a prison. It's very self-defeating and that sort of thing. So she was saying that flat Earth getting out there is a bad idea, and we're kind of digging our own grave. And boy, I'm sorry that she emailed me and was kind of upset why I didn't talk to you about it. And then in this message, she says, "Don't talk about it." Okay. So
The potential is absolutely right. She's not wrong.
yes,
So
that's what I pretty much said. I said, if this gets out there, things could go horribly wrong,
yeah, it
or they
has the
could
potential.
go horribly wrong and then be horribly right.
The thing I would put to her is, can it be, she'd probably say, yes, it can be worse. Can it be any worse than what we're doing right now? Honestly, why not take the chance? Why
You
not take the
mean the
chance and
way
see what,
society is now? I mean,
yeah, the way we're headed without flat Earth, without us changing it, we're just going to slowly auger this thing into the ground.
so many people believe, though, the ones who watch Fox News and other shows, that the world is, yeah, there's problems with politics and that, but it's okay. Everything's going along fine. They do think things are fine.
You mean you get your cheap food and your cheap alcohol and your cheap drugs,
Yep.
and you can medicate yourself
Yep.
into thinking that, yes.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you know me, I don't want to go off on a negative
Right.
rant
But I
here,
mean,
but
that's the way people.
your food is getting worse. Your children are getting less intelligent.
Yes.
Your marriage chances are, the success rates are
Yeah.
plummeting.
Most people are not in happy relationships. There's a
Yeah,
few who are in happy relationships, but most people are living a life of quiet desperation.
nice, well put. And entertainment, as you know it, has jumped the shark. In fact, it
Yeah.
jumped it a long time ago. You're holding on to an echo of what we used to be. And
Wow. That's really well put.
thank you. And but it's true. I just came up with that just now. T-shirt. I own the rights to that. The we are, and what we used to be wasn't that great. Let's put it forward. We are capable of
Well,
so
I
much
remember
more.
as a child, my mom saying, when I was a child, things were way better than they are now. She would say
Oh, of
candy
course.
bars were bigger for a less price. And as a child, I was like, oh, it must have been really great when candy bars were bigger. But that's just a thing she was trying to explain to me as a little
You,
girl. Things
you,
were better when she was younger, but they were also worse. There was more racism and more
all right.
poverty, maybe, and diseases and such too.
If you think things are that great, find me an aspect of our lives that doesn't have a lock on it. All right. Why do we have locks on everything? Literally everything.
All right, my cell
Why?
phone has a lock on it. You're right about this.
There you go. Everything has a lock on it. Why? Why? Because if we don't, people will steal it blind. Why is our legal system so extensive? Why do we have so many shows on television that are based on
So,
crime?
is it about greed, or is it about people who have been left out by the system, therefore they're struggling and they don't have enough? Or is it both?
It's both. And I don't want to steal too much from the Heath Ledger monologue rant from Batman,
Mm.
but where he said, look, the people are only as good as the system allows them to be. And until we realize that we're all in this together and that there is a higher power, I'm not going to name names, and that we are accountable, and until you realize these things and that karma is real, it's real.
A lot of people don't like your use of karma, and I say it too occasionally, but
Fine, what goes around comes around. What you
or
reap,
do
you'll
unto
sow.
others. Yes.
Do unto the well,
Right.
that's misused most of the time anyway, because people will say do unto others as they do unto you, but it's really do unto others as you would have them to you.
Right. That's the
Which
part
is
I mean.
which is why I use that quote: treat others better than you treat yourself.
Mhm.
But that's why we look. The answer to her question, I know I'm spending too much time on this, is that it's not the way we're headed now is not going to fix itself. It needs something, a bigger shakeup, something really big. to shake it up. That's the only chance we've got as a
Flat
civilization.
Earth, or what would happen?
Well,
Flat Earth is mainstream.
Flat Earth is a definite start to it, but it's got to be followed by something else.
Right, the government cracking down. And
again, you could go, I know what she's afraid of. It can go one of two ways. And you know where we're going with this. It's the fork in the road as far as how do you want Act 3 to go? Do you want to turn into the tragedy Academy Award winning film, you know, where everybody dies? And but it, you know, it's done in a tasteful way, or do you want
tasteful way?
You know, like
softened it there,
like Titanic, you know, where Leonardo slips into the water. Don't go.
Or, a Celine Dion song playing.
Ooh, I was gonna do that, but there was no way I was gonna sing it. Or you go the other way, the happy ending that people want, the golden age. And so, yeah, it can go one of two ways. And depending on if you're a glass half full or a glass half empty type of person, yeah, you're saying, oh, it's going to go half empty. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be the tragedy. It might, but it could go the other way. The thing is, isn't it worth taking the chance? Is it better to either that, or we just don't take the fork in the road and we just sit there and smolder until we're nothing? Because our civilization, the way we're going, you know full well we're going to.
You have to take a risk.
You do
to succeed. You might fail, but if you don't take the risk, you're guaranteed to fail, because nothing is static. Things will change, and if they're already circling the drain, nothing magic is going to, you know, make things better. Exactly. You've got to act, and by us speaking out about this subject, even if it pushes the ball forward to a point where some bad things happen because of flat earth truth, in the end, at least we're being honest. At least we're trying to spread truth.
And you know, I mean, we've been doing this now for a couple of years. And don't you think that you're in somebody's instincts, a group instinct would have figured out, look, everybody that's come on board with this, their instincts tell them that it's a great thing, not just a good thing, a great thing, a life-changing thing. And if it can change your life individually, imagine what it can do for a larger group, like a state or a country, or dare I say, an entire civilization. Flat Earth has the potential to be the catalyst to change it all. And I know science hates saying that, because then you got the whole NDT thing. It'll be the end of civilization and democracy as we know it. Well, as you know it, yes. But is that really the route you wanted to go? You want to keep making people miserable to where they were on alcohol and prescription drugs and non-prescription drugs for the rest of their lives, and trying to distract themselves from what you were saying, a quiet desperation? Is that really what people want to be? No. Human beings have the potential to be everything, to be so much more.
And you know what? We really already are. But because of the way society is, and because of what they try to do to our consciousness by lying to us about the food, the water, the shape of where we live, they've taken away that part of us that allows us to access the infinite, the beauty, the everything, as you put it. So agreed. I say we just keep on marching forward.
Yep, go for it. I'm not going to stop. There's no way. I couldn't stop if I wanted to at this point.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I have to keep doing this. Anyway, go on.
Bob of Globebusters, as we had said earlier in the conversation, had spoke with Nicole, which is Brian Mullen's wife, and pretty much he just needs a break. He's been hassled a lot on his Facebook and on his YouTube channel due to the conference, and he's in the mountains chilling out right now, I believe, with his wife. And
we saw that with Rob Skiba.
You know, take a break, focus on work. He's going to be activating his YouTube account and his Facebook, reactivating soon. But right now, he wants to chill. So don't barrage him with messages if you've got a way to get to him.
I'd use the line from oh crap, what was his name? Ron Burgundy. Who's the actor?
I can't remember. You know, Will
Ferrell.
Okay, Will Ferrell.
Where he goes, everybody panic, when he's running around.
Yeah.
No, Rob Skiba did this. He shut down.
I remember that.
Shut it down for.
And you know, I was one of the persons that emailed him, bugging him, saying, "Come back." So I guess I'm guilty.
He was catching a lot of flack, and it was too much for him. And he put on the Phil Collins song, it was kind of cheesy. You know, I don't care anymore. And it's going, and he got so much of a flood of people. So yeah, show Brian some love.
Right.
Send him emails if you know, or send his wife emails and say, look, everybody runs into this. Everybody has a hard time.
JM Truth TV says everybody needs to unplug once in a while. Yes.
Yeah.
Elliot Hall says Robert Bassano took a break and I guess is back, or there's a channel back that's re-uploading his videos, something punk something.
Wait a minute. Wasn't
But
he the guy that
said he was going to kill Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't like him though, right?
Well, there's people that have said they were going to kill you and I, and they did videos using the movie Clockwork Orange and put you and me in it, me being raped and you being killed. And they apologized and we said, okay, it's okay. So Robert Bassano, we maybe got caught up in there's no excuse for this behavior. Come on, I'm being real here. There isn't. But what am I the judge? Are you the judge? Is anyone the judge and jury of these people? We are not. So if somebody is willing to step up and own what they did and doesn't do that stuff anymore, we just have to say, cool.
Yeah. Right. Do you have any, that wasn't the only email you wanted to read, right? Or does she have other questions?
And I think Bassano threatened you, Mark, as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he caught me. We actually Skyped at one point, and then he just started getting all twitchy, which was fine.
Yeah.
But, and conspiracy crowd.
Let's see. Everyone's saying a break can do a person good. This is true. Let me see. I've got a ton of other emails. The one I read was the one that was somewhat of a downer. But then again, I want to say hello to Steve in Minnesota, Steve Harris, who wrote me a very nice email. It's more of a personal thing, but it's just really nice. He's been a flat earther from the near beginning, pushing 2 years now. He found you, Mark, with your clues, and likes watching the show as well, which is pretty cool.
Yay.
Jack Frost writes, our wonderful friend NASA has officially addressed the age-old flat earth question, how come no one has a single video out where the camera is turned 360 or even 180 degrees? And then they put out this ridiculous video of the launch pad. Did you see that video? 360 view of a launch pad. That's not what we've been asking for, but
I know I didn't have to because I read between the lines before they even did the video, which is like, the launch pad. So that's it. You're not going to actually put it, which is even worse. So you're not going to put the 360 on the rocket, which is what everybody wants. That's your money shot.
There's the airlock. The airlock is the big one for me. But they can always find a way to do this. But they also are saying, according to Jack Frost and his email, that the NASA says they'll be getting ultra HD video from inside the space station. And he jokingly says, yeah, are you satisfied now, flat earthers? And he adds typical NASA mind game so that people shut up and go back to sleep.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, SpaceX is painting themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
I don't know how you think you're going to do a moon mission without turning the cameras on.
Elon Musk, I'm going to be talking about the man's weight, okay, which is a rude thing to do. And I don't usually make any sort of personal attacks. I'm not attacking him. Yeah. He's gotten very big.
Really?
Little pictures of him. It's weird. So I'm thinking he's a stress eater. He's under stress, not just stress about the wonderful things he's doing for space. I think it's a stress from lying, possibly. Look at some older pictures and newer pictures. I don't mean just a few pounds like we all do. I mean, it happens. I'm talking about blowing up.
Yeah. No, I hadn't even thought about it. Sure.
Blowing up like his rockets. Warren D'Souza writes, if it means anything to you, I love listening to your shows. It is a very difficult task to defeat occult societies. They have all of the resources of the world at their disposal, and even if they make a mistake, it'll be a small one and easily covered up. And he goes on to talk about a legal battle in Canada against a company owned by a member of parliament. And he's about to find out if there's justice in the world. A trial is scheduled for the 25th of April, 10 days or so, or less than 10 days from now. So he's asking about honesty. Where is honesty? Not in his personal life with this trial he's dealing with, but also in the greater scheme of things. Why have we all been lied to about where we live? Integrity. He writes, where's the desire to live in an altruistic society where people actually want to do things for each other because they care about each other? He writes, it's a nightmare. And it really feels like people who think it's the fault of the individual and not the fault of the state. So, Warren, we wish you well on your trial, although I'm not quite sure what it's about. But I do understand that feeling. That feeling is that, where have all the good people gone? Were there ever any good people, or is everything motivated by money? Like Fox News getting rid of Bill O'Reilly, how we started our show off. They didn't get rid of him because he allegedly sexually assaulted a bunch of women. They got rid of him because all the advertisers were pulling out of his show. So it's really all about money.
It is. Well, you get me rolling on that. The entire reason, and I'll do it, is just twofold. The entire reason cigarette companies were at least somewhat crippled wasn't because people were dying of cancer. It was because the health insurance companies were paying out millions and millions and millions of dollars for lung cancer treatment, and nobody was accountable for it. So the health insurance companies were the ones that hired the other scientists to run their own studies and said, oh, hey, cigarettes aren't good for you after all. Which is why, by the way, the vaccination thing isn't going to be going away anytime soon, because there's no big money on the other side of it to battle big pharma. There's nobody in the victim sides. There's nobody out there because it's not covered under normal health insurance. So there's nobody to battle big pharma. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with it until this thing comes to a close.
And if this thing comes to a close in the way you're speaking, the world will either be righted or laid more flat than it is now.
Or laid into a field of molten glass.
Yeah. Scott Collins writes, I'm really amazed by the moon. It's so hard to understand. Is it terra firma? Is it a hologram? The craters resemble more of a sinkhole look than a meteor strike. By the way, he says, if we're flying through the universe at 167,000 miles per hour, wouldn't we be running into meteoroids and asteroids instead of them running into us?
Good point. And going down that road, why haven't any meteors hit any satellites or winged a satellite? And once a satellite does get, I was going to use the word wung, that word we liked sometimes. Once a satellite got whipped around, wouldn't it turn into this big amusement park of spinning metal up there, like the entire premise of the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney?
You usually hold back your George Clooney references to the end.
I know. I didn't want to forget though. Anyway, what else you got?
A bunch of other stuff. Lots of different people messaging all sorts of things. It's almost too much to get into. Let's see. We've got Walter Townsend saying, thinking outside the ball, helping others to understand the plane of existence is an important thing to do, and this show does that. When people start to embrace this concept and see the balances between earth and sky, where we as people fit in and creation is equal and vital, it's key. He talks about reaching mainstream, and that we will live or die by creation, that some power hungry may want to try to convey they have control, but the earth and sky will have the final say.
Well put. I want to make one more moon comment, and that was Darren Nesbitt during that presentation he did to that group out in London. He did a good thing by opening the talk with a big section on dissecting the American space program, dissecting especially the moon mission. It's a good segue into flat Earth, and that is attack NASA first.
I agree.
It's like because you do have to get rid of NASA.
I got where I am today through moon hoax, then boom, 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 boom onto other videos. So I think a lot of people feel that way as well.
So it's a nice segue he did.
Mr. Rich B.O.B. was hearkening back to you talking about Mormons, says that they can be God of their own planet someday. And he's wondering if Mr. Rich B.O.B., if there are any Mormon flat earthers. It's interesting. I've not heard of it.
No, we've had, I've gotten emails from them. Yes, there are Mormon flat earthers. Why not? I mean, their backstory is a little more racy than most because it involves spaceships and golden tablets or whatever the thing. Well, if you want to have some fun, well, let's put it this way. It's entertaining enough that the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, literally turned it into a Broadway musical, an award-winning Broadway musical called Book of Mormon.
Which I don't really like musicals, actually. I liked when I was
Oh,
a child, things like Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music, but as an adult I don't really want to see any musicals. It's not for me.
my grandparents tried to broaden me by taking me literally to Broadway. I saw Chorus Line on
How was
Broadway.
that? That's pretty sexual for somebody young, isn't it?
Uh, yes, the line, tits and ass is still stuck in my head because I had no idea. They didn't know. But I remember all the shows I went to that during when I was there, and it was great. I don't regret it for a second. I mean,
I think it's a good thing to take your children to these live events, definitely.
yeah.
Then, we've talked many times about how there's nothing new coming out in Hollywood. And then the movie Beauty and the Beast is out now with like some levels of CGI and then some real actors and
Well,
actresses sing along musical version of it.
again, the novelty, the Terrence McKenna.
We don't need that. We need something. That's just no. We don't need that.
Well, it's been done. The Beauty and the Beast. I saw it. I saw it in the theater just recently.
You did?
Oh yeah, I did. I did see it, and it was an exact remake of the cartoon, down to the lyrics, down to the.
Why would somebody? Well, I'll ask you. Why did you want to see it?
The money. It's a Disney show.
No, but why did you want to see it?
Oh, why did I want to see it? It was an agreed upon thing. It was
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, I figured it's not, one. It's a Disney production, so they don't do anything half-assed. It's a solid thing. It's going to make a bunch of money, and you've got what's her face from Harry Potter.
I can't remember her name.
The girl from Harry Potter, and in fact, all the voices were done by heavy hitters, including Ian McKellen and Ewan McGregor and so on and so on. Can't remember the name of the lady that sung, because it wasn't Angela Lansbury this time that sung Beauty and the Beast. It was another woman. English
I don't think
lady.
Angela Lansbury is alive. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think she is either. And she, side note, she always looked older. Do you realize this is a little trivia. This shows you how much media I absorb. She played in one of Elvis's Hawaii movies. She played Elvis's mother.
Wait, and who is this woman so we could look her up?
Angela Lansbury.
Oh, Angela. Yeah, that's right.
She played Elvis's mother, and she was only 6 or 8 years older than him. And she has an older face. Her facial structure leans into being older.
I know.
Anyway,
I've always had not an old woman's voice, but I've never had a young girly voice, even when I was young.
No, but neither did Kathleen Turner.
Yeah, I mean, my voice isn't as smoky as hers, but I remember being able to call in to my school that I was sick, pretending to be my mother with total ease and confidence.
I could imagine you pulling that off. Yeah.
No, Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury is 91 years old now. So,
wow.
Mandela effect aside.
Angela Lansbury is not dead. We just like to report that right now. Angela Lansbury still alive.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and this year, you go again, look up movies of 2017. All of them are reboots, remakes, sequels. That's all there is. There is nothing new out this year, and to the point where yes, they actually redid Beauty and the Beast. And Disney does not redo a lot of movies like that. It's not like they redid Snow White or, I mean, there's a few that they kind of retouched, but they're doing another Pirates of the Caribbean movie this year.
Why?
Fast and the Furious 27. Yes. Supposedly it's the last one. They rebooted King Kong, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's going to be another Spider-Man. They're rebooting Spider-Man again.
No.
You got to remember, Spider-Man came out, the first one came out in the 90s, right? This wasn't like a long-running franchise.
I saw the first one.
Tobey Maguire had 3 Spider-Man movies. Then there was that British guy who did 2 of them. Now they're rebooting it again with a different guy who's American.
It's just a waste of.
I know we've run. The point is we've run out of novelty.
We've run out, which is
we've jumped the shark as a media entity.
Oh, back to okay. Wake the Sheeple says, LDS and Masons are the same. Joseph Smith was a 33-degree Mason in order to start Mormonism by the Vatican.
No.
And I don't really know anything about
why not?
that.
That would be an interesting way of doing it. Again, they were Well, they are. They still are aggressive. House to house recruiting. Try to secede from the union. Very modernistic story by anybody's standards. And you wonder if Trey Parker and Matt Stone have gotten death threats. In fact, how did they get away with doing that show on Broadway? I wonder. You'd think that there'd be a class action suit of some sort.
Huh, interesting. Very true. Helioskeptic. I don't know if I said hi to Helioskeptic and Persian Scribe. And did I even say hello to Nathan Oakley? That would be weird if I didn't. An FPV Angel. And let's see. Some really good. Mark Ofsky says bed knobs and broomsticks. Now, are they redoing bed knobs and broomsticks? I remember loving that as a child too.
Doesn't surprise me. I went through the list and it was amazing. It's like, oh yeah, seen it. Sequel, reboot, all the way down. I mean, well, the King Kong movie I saw with Samuel L. Jackson this year. They've been rebooting that movie, and I've seen every reboot since the 30s. They did one in the 70s. They did one with Peter Jackson from Lord of the Rings. They're doing it again now. And this one's going to be tied in with the new Godzilla movies. So it's going to be King Kong versus Godzilla, which has been done. That was done.
Have we run out of creativity, or is the system that we live in it? Is it down to the system that we live in has run out of, let's just pretend we're living in a simulation. If you want to believe that, and I know you a lot don't, I'm just saying, go with me on this for a moment. Yeah. Is it something like that where it's just it's just a bunch of code and numbers, and it's just repeating and regurgitating the same thing at this point?
Yeah, both. I mean, you know this, and when it comes to any sort of creative process, creativity inspires other creativity, but there's only so much you can spider web out. There's only so,
because if you're around really, really creative people will come up with new ideas. Look, somebody came up with an iPhone. Somebody came up with all of these things that we've got that are new and different.
They did, but they're just refinements of existing ideas. The iPhone is literally just an Alexander Graham Bell telephone that has been made wireless and tied into a data bank.
Or like that big briefcase cell phone that somebody I remember had back in the 80s.
There you go, the briefcase telephones. I mean, think of it this way. I'll give you two quick examples. One is, doesn't matter how good the writing is, if it's fiction, you can only go so far. Cheers only had so many seasons. Friends only had so many seasons. But when it comes to real life, like, again, tied to us, crime stories, Law and Order, still going. Right? And not only is that, but it's had multiple spin-offs.
So people are interested in crime.
Well, no. Crime writes itself. What I'm saying is, all those stories, it's not like the writers had to sit down at tables. All they had to do was open up newspapers. They got police blotters from New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. That's all they had to do. It's like, we'll just make a story based on this. And they figured out they never ran out of stories.
It's not creativity, really.
No, it's not.
A retelling of truth. Maybe everything is retelling of truth. Mm. Billy Sunday says that Captain Obvious is a flat earther and a YouTuber who is also a Mormon.
What, the Captain Obvious?
Yeah, didn't know that. Want to say hi to OD?
Is that true?
Here and been taking pics. I don't know.
How would he know that? The marketing guy behind?
Well, Captain Obvious, the YouTuber, flat Earth YouTuber.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I was thinking Hotels.com. That Captain Obvious.
Oh no, I didn't even know there was such a thing.
You haven't seen the commercials?
No, I don't watch.
Oh, it's pretty clever. They actually made a character called Captain Obvious.
Larry Sieben says, "Holy bleep, Mark is as old as me." LOL.
How did he know? I didn't say
speaking of birthdays and people older.
Yeah, by this time next week, I will be older.
Yes, indeed. There's a couple of people that I want to mention.
Joe Rogan and I are the same age, by the way.
Interesting. I'm the same age as Jodie Foster. So
that's pretty good company. Jodie Foster, one of the few child stars to adjust well.
So your birthday, well, Amber Plaster's birthday, I believe, was Monday. So happy birthday to her. Your birthday is coming up the 24th, which is next Monday, right?
That's next Monday.
All right. And Carly Sunshine's birthday is on Friday, the 21st.
Nice.
So That's nice stuff to talk about as we close
Yeah,
down our show. Let me go back into chat and see what's shaking.
see if anybody else is missing.
Oh.
Actually, again, it was a big day for news. Recap, mainstream references all over the place, and karma coming back to bite people that do bad things.
And hello to ADR and Rob Dizzle, who are in the chat. And okay. Mike Flatbird. And so many other people. Nora No One's Flower. Mr. Drobot just showed up as well.
Mr. Drobot.
And James Richard, Joey Sylvie, and I don't know if I mentioned been taking pics. Archer Sage uploaded a video about Chuck Norris, a sniper vid. He's done 2, so there's a second one up there. And karma, yeah. I mean, when it comes to karma, there's 2 ways to look at it. Anytime you have something bad happen to you, does that mean that it's your karma? That's the thing about karma that always kind of bugged me. You know, we've all had bad things happen to us. I don't mean just stubbing your toe. Or
it can be a
we're talking big life-changing things.
No, no, it's not always karma, but karma is real. And I believe it becomes more real the more in tune with this world that once you figure it out. Once you figure out that you're not supposed to do malicious things to other people. So if it's not like if you accidentally back into somebody's mailbox, that's fine. But
what about people who maliciously have done things to you? And do you get to watch it happen to them, or does it happen like 20 years down the road and you don't even know it happened to them?
Well, I've seen it both ways. So
because you want to be able to see it.
I know you do. But okay, let's put it this way. I was an innocent enough person for whatever. I was raised completely sheltered and innocent, on an island in the middle of somewhere. And every bully that I ever, because remember, I was intelligent enough that I skipped a grade and then did all some fun stuff. But I was picked on. I was a nerd when I was young, super nerdy, right? Every bully that treated me, did bad things to me, horrible things happened to them. Every one of them. Bad.
There was a bully in my neighborhood when I was growing up. I've lived a couple different places growing up, but this was in Michigan. And he was a couple years older than me. And he convinced me to get into one of those little red wagons. And I had my baby teeth still, but I was, out playing. And he said he'd push me, or no, he'd pull me. And I said, okay. Well, what he instead did was push me down a sloping hill, which to me was a gigantic mountain. But I bet if I went back and looked now, it was just a sloping hill. The little red wagon, those old style metal wagons.
Oh yeah.
Probably have sold reproduction stuff now, but this was the original. Went careening down the hill and I fell out or jumped and smashed my front baby tooth. And of course I went home and my mother was like crying and worried, but everything was fine. And at least it was only a baby tooth. But that young man, I lost touch with him. Obviously, it wasn't a friend of his, but my mom sent me a newspaper clipping as life went on. Yeah. He died at the age of like 32 of a heart attack. Yeah. So
perfect.
Because of that, probably my little issue was nothing. But if he was going to do that to a nice, sweet, innocent next door neighbor girl, he was probably doing horrible stuff to many, many, many people.
Karma isn't, I've seen it instant. And for me, it's kind of like a Stephen King fog that you can't see. It may not get you. You may be able to bob and weave for a while, but it is relentless. And it will.
Final Destination, no matter how.
There you go. Final Destination. Yeah. See, you don't want. Yeah. Final Destination. Perfect example. It will find you sooner or later. And you repent now.
Regina George, Mean Girls.
Regina George, Mean Girls, perfect example. My sister was Regina George. Absolutely, she was. And yeah, there's it. I've seen it time and time and time and time again, to where now again, I'm not a mean person anyway, but there's no way. If somebody threatened me, it's like, you got to do something mean to this person or else. I'm like, fine, take it out on me. There's no way I am going to mess with karma. Not anymore. No chance. Not with Flat Earth.
But I mean, I don't think that you were ever a malicious person.
No, I wasn't. But now it's even more reinforced, to where if things hinged on me doing something to somebody else, I wouldn't do it. I'd say,
Right.
look, I know how karma works. I will take whatever you want to dish out to them.
That's why when people have come out against me, said things about me that weren't true, and have done things within our flat earth realm, I don't attack back. I just allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do. And life will take care of them one way or the other.
Trust in the system. Is the system, there's still some mysteries out there. Of course, I'm not going to explain every bad thing that happens because it's that stupid line that I know people give me crap about. And that is, why do bad things happen to good people? It's like, because if they didn't, everyone would be on their best behavior. You got to leave a little.
And also sometimes when bad things happen to good people, it's a test for you, how you're going to handle it.
The Ned Flanders episode on The Simpsons.
Dignity and, and be resilient. Yeah.
Simpsons dedicated an entire episode to Ned Flanders. Oh, his life just turned to hell. And to the point where his house burned down, and it's like, didn't you have insurance? Like, no, Ned considers it a form of gambling. And
it is, though.
Well, it is.
Damn.
It is. And it was a big test for him. And I'm not going to tell you how it ended, but
I do want to mention something. We mentioned Bob of Globebusters and how he's going to the next meetup, and how he and Cami went to the very last meetup in Colorado.
Fort Collins.
He's also going to be on Sean Caron's Awakening Liberty show coming up on Saturday. Yep. So Sean Caron, Caron, the Awakening Liberty show. So look for Bob of Globebusters on that show.
Truth Frequency Radio has Sean Caron, Jeranism, me, Rob Skiba, Zen Garcia, and that's just 5 that I can think of. But there are also several on that station that are against it.
Yeah, and there's also some commercials that play in between all of those shows that are promoting sort of globe issues, and you're like putting your ears and your fingers in your ears. I can't hear you.
One of my most frustrating interviews was by Chris Everhard, who was on that network. He's from London, and he considers himself an amateur astronomer. And I wanted to choke him to death.
No, you wouldn't ever do such.
No, I wouldn't, because that's karma.
Right. Now, is wishing ill upon a person bad karma?
No, it doesn't count. Everybody does that. No, as long as you don't act on it, you're fine.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay, so by wishing things, can you create a force, something in the force, a wave of negative energy toward a person and cause bad things to
happen? Minute. I mean, there've been studies done on this where you can affect, you can take an entire classroom of people and focus on one thing, and it kind of get a little flutter here and there, but no, God, thought weapons.
So what you should do is don't wish ill on people who have positioned themselves as your enemies or have done bad things to you. Just let it go, rise above, and things will handle themselves.
Yeah, you know me. Take the high road, people. And I know it's easier said than done. One of the best pieces of advice I got was from a former boss who said, "Look, take an hour. Don't respond right away to whatever it is." And I know it's really hard with instant social media. People want to respond like in 2 seconds. Give it some time, let your adrenaline come down, and then figure out if you'd still respond the same way. He said, if you still feel that way after you're calmed down, oh yeah, then go for it. But
James Richard says, karma, sin is destruction. Destruction is the result of sin. They go hand in hand. Karma is always caused from some evil intent.
Yeah, intent. Yeah.
Intent, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, intent.
Absolutely. People, again, everyone has bad thoughts, of course. We're human. But do you act on them? Everybody's got a choice. Do you act on it? Do you give in peer pressure? Do you prey on the weak? That's one of the biggest ones. Do you prey on the innocent? Do you take advantage of somebody just because you can?
The answer to all of those things is no.
Well,
of course not.
But lots of people do.
Yeah.
Well, you're also female. And
there's some pretty bad women out there.
There's some
women who kill their own children. I mean, that right there.
There are, of course, there are, but
that's actually also, they have found, due to some weird hormonal thing that's happening in them, that they could avail themselves of ways to fix it, not even involving drugs, which postpartum depression that is like amped up if you've already got mental issues. There's some
Head
sick people out there for sure.
Yeah, there are, no question.
But
Anyway,
there's awesome people too. And
what happy notes should we end the show
but there's
with?
awesome people in Flat Earth. There's wonderful people. Just look at the care and concern that popped up during our show today when people were saying that Brian Mullen's YouTube channel went down. No one was saying a single bad word about him. Everybody was wishing him the best.
Look how fast we figured that out.
Yeah.
Right?
Teamwork.
How quickly. It's like, holy smokes, what's happening with Brian? Everyone really cares about the community. Yes, the army in question that we have, this Flat Earth army, is it divisive? Is there fragmentation? Of course there is.
Is it ragtag? Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of different banners on our side. It's really
we're still on the same side.
We're still on the same side, and so in fact, if somebody came after Brian, we would be unified against.
Yes, in fact, that's the thing with Tiger Dan. Everyone was wondering what happened to him because they cared. Yeah. And then later he started lashing out and a little bit of care lessened. And it became more of a, pity's a bad word, but we all thought he shouldn't act like that and it was wrong. And
yeah. Well, I mean, especially coming from his background. It'd be like Rob Skiba attacking.
No, can't imagine that.
No, can't imagine that. So,
well, this has been an interesting show. It's not really the show that I thought we were going to have because a lot of things happened during it right before we did the show. I mean, I found out anyway about the no spin zone. Bill O'Reilly,
the Bill O'Reilly thing
being fired, and it spun. No pun intended.
No
pun intended. Bill Cosby talk, Charles Manson talk, and we pretty much went everywhere and then all the way around and back again where we began.
Yep. And things will be good.
Anything happening with you coming up?
A couple interviews. I'm going to put out that, if he gives me that thing Friday, I'm going to do that thing from League of Nerds. I'll put it out probably Friday afternoon or Saturday, unless the audio is horrible. And then I've got another thing on, in fact, I've got a bigger show. I'm doing a Chicago radio station.
Are you doing anything fun for your birthday on Monday?
I don't know. I might go to a Canadian.
Be in Canada?
I will be in Canada. I already celebrated the rest of my family members' birthday when I was down in the States. And I will be probably going to a Canadian Red Robin, having some food because they give you a free burger on your birthday. And I don't know what else.
You're really like a cute little boy at heart.
I love Red Robin. It was founded in Seattle. I have really dug that place.
Never been.
Oh, well, they have some vegan things, I think.
Probably
not a lot though. It's pretty limited.
Water, ma'am. Enjoy.
Here, you can eat your napkin. And even that's probably not vegan. So I don't know if I'm going to do anything fun for my birthday, but
Well, you'll be getting a bunch of Skype messages, I'm sure.
The thing is, Skype screwed up. Skype, for whatever reason, said, I don't know if I put it in wrong or they just glitched it when Microsoft ended up buying Skype, but they said that my birthday was on the 4th.
Yeah.
And so I already got a bunch of messages.
There's a lot of people.
No worries. I don't really mind.
All right. Well, we're going to end the show. Thanks to all the viewers. We have quite a lot of viewers in our chat. Right now, it's tapered because people can tell we're wrapping it up. It's 333 views, but
don't say that.
We were quite up there for a while. But I appreciate each and every one of you. And it's not just lip service. I so appreciate it. I appreciate all the subscribers that I have. And if you've not subscribed, it would be my honor if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you click the little bell, you get an update as to new videos of mine that come out. And if you follow Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes on Google+, if you have Google+, you'll get an invitation to this show when it happens. And I've had emails asking me, am I going to start doing interviews again? And the answer to that is yes. I've just been so busy with my house. I've been slacking. Sophia Smallstorm has agreed to be a guest on my show. So that's going to be coming up soon. And that's about that.
Cool.
And we shall meet again next Wednesday when you'll be 1 year older, Mark.
You'll have to talk into my good ear next week.
Exactly. All right. So from all of us to you, from both of us to you, keep it flat.
Keep it flat.
Bye.